By now, you probably know a couple of people who have gotten COVID. Even with the subpar rollout of vaccines, the coronavirus is still a serious problem in the United States. And this virus is a way bigger problem in the Black community. Black people have a higher risk of exposure, more likely to have pre-existing conditions, and have less access to medical care. I say all that to say, please wear your mask, keep your distance, and just make sure you take care of yourself. But today's episode is not about you, it's about the celebrities. In this episode of The Five, we're gonna look at Black celebrities who have actually caught the coronavirus. Hi, my name is Jared and welcome to The Five, where we share 5 interesting things in Black culture and society in every episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you can get notified when we release new videos. And at number 1, let's start with one of the first celebrities to announce that they had COVID, Idris. Actor Idris Alba announced he caught COVID last March while shooting a new movie. He was at a charity event where he might have picked up the virus. Due to his asthma, Idris's exposure to COVID was a scary moment for the actor and his wife Sabrina, who also tested positive for COVID later on. The actor took to Twitter to reveal his positive test and say he was doing just fine with no symptoms. What prompted Idris to get tested was his exposure to somebody who tested positive at the charity event he attended earlier on. Even though he did not experience any COVID symptoms, Idris said testing positive for the virus early on had a traumatic effect on him mentally because very little was known about the disease at the time. And number 2, Jeremiah. The Chicago native was diagnosed with COVID in November and found himself fighting for his life after being placed in ICU due to the virus. Before being hospitalized, Jeremiah thought he was coming down with a really bad cold. He took a cold medication, and the next thing he remembered was waking up in the hospital, unsure of where he was or what had happened. His organs were failing and he had to be put on dialysis. It took a long time for his numbers to improve, and at the end, Jeremiah had to learn how to eat and walk again in therapy. He lost 45 pounds through the ordeal. Other celebrities like Chance the Rapper and 50 Cent took to social media to ask everyone to keep the singer in their prayers. Now Jeremiah has recovered and has shared his story in an effort to get people, especially young people, to take coronavirus seriously. And number 3, Ashanti. Singer Ashanti was set to appear for a versus battle against Keisha Cole when she got the positive diagnosis. She took to Instagram to let her fans know that she was feeling fine after testing positive. When asked by fans if she got COVID due to a recent trip to Africa, Ashanti made it clear that she did not get COVID on her recent trip to Nairobi. She said she was actually exposed to the virus while at home from a family member. When she came back from her travels, she hugged a family member that did not know he had COVID. Thankfully, her symptoms were mild. Number 4, D.L. Hugley. D.L. Hugley's COVID diagnosis was very public when the comedian passed out while on stage at a comedy club in Nashville. His collapse on stage was filmed by fans and shared online. Hugley was then rushed to the hospital. While receiving treatment for dehydration and exhaustion, he was given a COVID test which came back positive. Hugley was shocked when he tested positive because he had none of the symptoms that are often associated with COVID. He was kept at the hospital overnight for observation and released the next day. A representative for the actor told TMZ that he was suffering from exhaustion after all the week's work and travel. Hugley remained asymptomatic before and after his diagnosis, which is why he unknowingly spread the virus to his radio team. But luckily, nobody from the team got seriously sick. And at number 5, one of the latest celebrities to announce that they had COVID, Nick Cannon. Comedian, actor, and TV show host Nick Cannon is one of the latest celebrities to be diagnosed with COVID-19. It was announced the Masked Singer host tested positive ahead of shooting season 5 of the popular TV show. While he rested and quarantined, Niecy Nash took over to host a few episodes of The Masked Singer. Back in 2012, Nick discovered he had lupus-related kidney disease. This diagnosis for a chronic disease places the comedian in the immunocompromised category, which makes one particularly vulnerable to COVID-19. Public service announcement: wear your mask, social distance, eat right, exercise, rest, make sure you hydrate. Have you been diagnosed with COVID? Make sure you share your experience in the comments. That's it for this episode of The Five. We'll be back with another episode in Black culture and society.